Hey guys, Russia is making a lot of aggressive moves lately. They invaded Turkish airspace. A couple of years ago, they invaded Georgia. They invaded Ukraine, and also, they're violating NATO airspace in Europe all the time. The Russia is becoming more and more aggressive in the region because the oil prices, the energy, gas, and oil prices are decreasing at record rates, and if the energy prices continue to fall at this rate, then Russia is going to have big budget problems. So they're making a lot of moves in the region. They're creating problems in Syria, and I think the main reason why the Syria problem is still going on is because Russia is giving support to Assad and also to ISIS, because ISIS and Assad is working together to beat the rebels. Russia is also bombing the Turkmen, that is related to the Turkish people, and lately, or not so long ago, they invaded Turkish airspace, and Turkey shut down the Russian air jet. Turkey shot down the Russian jet, and since then the Russian Western relations deteriorated even faster. There were already sanctions on Russia because they invaded Ukraine and annexed Crimea. Turkey was the only country who opposed these sanctions against Russia, and this was also the only country who didn't put sanctions on Russia. And it's now very comical that Russia is the one who's putting sanctions on Turkey. Well, Turkey was always on Russia's side, or more in a neutral position. So like Kasparov, who's an opposition in Russia, said that Putin's actions against Turkey was wrong because it's alienating the only Western country that is on Russia's side. Of course, the Putin trolls will disagree with this, but we already see a backlash of Russia's actions in the region. For example, Turkey is starting to buy more from alternative countries. Like Turkey is already building a pipeline between Azerbaijan and Turkey, between using Georgia as a transit country. The Kurdish regional government in Iraq is also planning, or already building a pipeline between Turkey and that region in Iraq. There's also planned pipelines between Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan, who will be linked to the current pipeline that's already almost finished. And also, of course, Cyprus. If there's a deal on Cyprus, there will also be a pipeline between Cyprus and Turkey. And the final one is Israel, pipeline between Israel and Turkey. So Turkey has a lot of alternatives where it can buy gas and energy from. And for Russia, it's going to be very difficult to find new customers because Turkey is the second biggest buyer of gas from Russia. And if Turkey's going to stop using Russian gas because of their actions, then Russia is going to be in very big trouble. In 2014, Russia already had a negative growth rate of 4%. So the economy shrank, shrank last year, and with the with the current energy prices, Russia is even going to have a bigger negative growth in 2016. So I'm very, very, curious what's going to happen in 2016, because in 1 or 2 years, Russia is going to be in very big economic trouble if the energy prices are going to keep at this current rate. So probably Russia is going to make more trouble in the region to try to create political instability, and so that the energy prices will rise again. But until now, Russia doesn't have any success with um, this approach. They try to create problems in Iraq and Syria. Probably they're also going to try to create problems in the Caucasus. But I don't think the energy prices won't rise. It's going to be at the current rate, and probably the economic collapse in Russia is going to accelerate, because the economic sanctions are still going on against Russia. The food prices have risen in Russia. I read that one tomato is €2 or €10 or $10, excuse me. And probably if this is going to continue, the economic situation in Russia, probably we're going to see some backlash of the public, or Russian public. It's going to suffer a lot, and probably Putin is going to see some rebellion, or at least some political backlash. And it's going to be interesting year what's going to happen with Russia in 2016, because they're trying to solve they're interfering in Ukraine and Georgia and Syria and other places. But they're doing that because at home they have bigger problems. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see what's going to happen.